Hey, everybody, Dave Hagan. You're listening to episode 415 of the Financial Wellness Podcast. Could this be our final coronavirus edition? We'll see. That's today on the Financial Wellness Podcast.
Welcome to the Financial Wellness Podcast, Dave's weekly message to keep you on your path to the financial success. Here is your host, financial problem solver and talk show host, Dave Hagan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's show, which could be our final coronavirus edition show. Let's talk about that a little bit. But first, we have with us today Mr. Brian Reed. Brian, how are you?
I am fabulous, David.
You happy, healthy?
Happy, healthy. It's you know what? And that's all I need.
Have you
Healthy.
had your shots?
I have not had my shots yet. I'm still too young, but that's coming soon, I guess.
Oh, I knew you'd
So looking forward
I
to
knew
that.
you'd pull that on me. You're too young. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. I got my first shot. It was pretty cool. In and out.
Nice.
In and out in 20 minutes. They stuck me. I sat there for 15 minutes and they said, get out of here. It was way easier. The drive was more difficult than, the experience. So happy to do that. I was talking to my parents. They're 90 and 93. And I was kidding my dad. I said, I hear the final shot for maximum efficiency. They're starting to give it in the, in the bottom. And they were getting the vaccine at Dodger Stadium. And I said, what are you going to do about that, Dad, at Dodger Stadium? And he thought for a minute and he goes, I'll hang it out the window. I want to get the second shot. So things have changed. We don't have with us today Nick Appel. He's still studying. He's not with us because of his concern about the coronavirus. He's here because his virus is the need to study for the bar exam. So good luck with that, Nick. Keep your head down and we'll have you back soon. But what I want to talk about now is this past year. Think of that. We've been at this for a little more than a year, and it's been just one hell of a year. Think about it. Think back on that for just a minute. Think back to early January where there was a virus in other parts of the world. It's like, oh, there's a virus in China and it's spreading through Europe. We don't have to worry about that. Well, we did. It hit us in March and it hit us hard. So hard that most sports stopped. That's how hard it hit us, Brian. There was no sports. Remember that? We were watching Super Bowl reruns for entertainment. It was brutal. The world was practically closed down. The United States was closed down. They just said, everybody go home. I talked to someone today that worked in an office relative to the Department of Justice. And they said an order came out. They said, you may not go to the office. Fire extinguishers may not be recharged. Alarms may not be responded to. The plants will die. You may not go into the office. It's different now, but it was crazy back then. Remember Italy? Italy was suffering terribly. Remember we saw these pictures of people holed up in apartments in Italy. And we saw pictures in Venice, and the streets of Venice were vacant and people were dying and suffering. It was brutal. At night, people would sing out their windows for entertainment. It was a tough time, man. We basically hid out in our houses for several months, trying to figure this thing out. We were going, wow, could this wipe us all out? Is this it? There was that possibility. If nothing else, you couldn't get any toilet paper. It was brutal.
Oh.
It was, remember that? You almost forget that now. And bottled water and stuff. You go into Costco and that whole back area that's full of toilet paper and paper towel was like empty. It looked like a mini hockey rink. It was just polished cement back there with nothing. It was crazy. I remember driving down the neighborhood and some lady had left her garage door open, and I swear to you, top to bottom, side to side, toilet paper. Now, I don't know what people had in mind, but they must have really been frightened to be hoarding that much toilet
Wow.
paper. You know, we started talking about the flu epidemic of 1918, something we were probably taught in school and promptly forgot. I mean, we really didn't spend much time thinking about it. I mean, think back. We had no course of treatment, we had no vaccine, we had no cure. I know several people who died. I ran into someone, a family came to see me on some financial stuff a year ago, and two of them said that they didn't want to wear masks, and this was before CDC said that masks were that critical. And the family came back to see me again 1 year later this week, and one of them had passed away. One of them had passed away. Just break your heart. And then things started to change a little bit. What, about maybe June or July? For me, it was when I saw Tom Hanks on that episode of Saturday Night Live. And it was all done by home video. And Hanks did the opening monologue in his family room in his house. And, you know, he had the coronavirus early, and a lot of people were concerned that, you know, we would lose a popular actor like Tom Hanks. And there he was, and he was joking a little bit, and he was telling us it was going to be okay. And then the cast put on a series of skits that they recorded in their apartments. And I don't know, I remember being so relieved, like, oh my God, we are going to get through this. People are going to be okay. Look at the clever ways that we're dealing with this. Look at the people that are standing up and saying, I had it and I beat it. And I thought, wow, maybe we'll just be okay. How about you, Brian? Was there a time that you can think back in the last year where it started to turn around a little bit?
It definitely wasn't June or July for me.
Later? Earlier?
It's later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Maybe September,
Yeah. And
because we
something
had
specific?
it's just that, you know, we had the initial spike,
Yeah.
and then we had another one, um, and then that one went down, and I think it was the second spike going down again that made me go, okay, we're just going to keep having these spikes. This is going to be the flow, and it'll eventually be over.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I was more worried about the initial hit. Actually, no, it was like the third spike. I think it was. Regardless, once I started to feel the flow of what this was, you know, what I felt like this was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I kind of settled into the stride of, okay, if this is what it's going to be, then we can make it.
Yeah. I remember the day, front page of the LA Times, Pfizer vaccine approved. Wow. I remember the pictures on the television, the person that got the first trial shot. It was like soldiers going off to war or something. I mean, it was crazy in my mind. And once things started to change, whether it was June or July or August or September, we started to look around at a new world order. A lot of things are the same, but some things are different and will forever be different. Hey, we could work from home. Hey, we didn't have to commute. On the TFWP, we started talking about potential opportunities that might be out there when the world reopened. I mean, we do the TFWP in a completely different way. You remember the tables and the cables and the practice room and the monitors. And now we just kind of sit down at our computer with a screen and a high-end mic, and we do it from several different locations. It's a new world order.
Well, we're going to have to get back together again in the same room soon, but I think we've discovered that we can do this remotely and still have a good time with it, and then also get together every now and again too.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think so. But it's a different way of thinking about things. People can Zoom or they can be live. I think it's caused us to appreciate being more in person and more live. Um, I mean, careers are different. People were working from their homes before, but now a lot more people are working from their homes. And I saw a recent study that said that like 40% of the workforce will change jobs rather than go back to work 5 days a week. It's like, wow, how things have changed. And then at the end of the year, we got a little too full of ourselves and didn't pay attention. And at the end of the year, the infection rate started to rocket back up, and we were hunkering down again. And I'm thinking, I'm tired of this. I'm done with this. But we got through it, it seems, and here we are a year later, a little over a year later, and the infection rate continues mostly to fall. I heard a news report today that there are a few countries out there. Where was it? I think it was Turkey. They were saying that they're just getting killed over there. But for the most part, that rate's starting to fall, and we're getting used to this new life. This new life that's changed forever. Now, it looks like the reported death rate in the U.S. is going to be something similar to the flu of 1918. It looks like, 550 to 600,000 deaths. Even worse, though, it looks that about 2.5 million people have died, altogether worldwide. So I think we look at life a little bit differently. We look at work a little bit differently. We care for people differently. And there's still a lot of inhumanity out there, but I think a lot of people are looking at things differently. And perhaps most importantly, this just blows my mind, Brian. Most importantly, 1 in 5 Americans have now been vaccinated. Think about that. A year ago, we didn't have a vaccine. We didn't have a treatment plan. We didn't know how it was affecting people's bodies. And within a year, we came up with a new way to deliver a vaccine, created that vaccine, tested it, manufactured it, and delivered it to 20 million people. Boy, I think we failed to appreciate that. I mean, doesn't that just blow your mind?
I think once most of the population is vaccinated and we really do start to get that feeling of, guys, it's over, we're going to sit back and go, that was amazing.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many documentaries being done on how it happened. Right now, we don't care. We just feel like, get it done.
Get it done.
I want the shot. Let's go.
Yeah. When the shot first came out, I was a little skeptical. I wanted to see how the first bunch of doses were going. And I remember former presidents were doing commercials where they were getting the vaccine on television, on ads. And I still thought, I don't know. My body's pretty precious to me, pretty unique. I don't know if I want to be, getting that shot quite yet. I read that there were people out there saying that the vaccine had metals in it so that they could now track all of us with 5G, because 5G and the vaccine were kind of coming out at the same time. I didn't believe it, but I wanted to keep my eyes wide open. And a couple of weeks ago, when it came my turn, I didn't think twice. I was that comfortable with it in that short of a period of time, and that kind of surprised me. I was happy to do it. I talked to someone the other day, and they said, "Well, I can't do it because I've got this medical condition or that medical condition." I said, "Don't sweat it. The rest of us will do it. We'll pick up that slack, because as a group, we're gonna beat that." But they're talking about the way that they deliver the vaccine as potentially a way to deliver vaccine or cure for types of cancer already. I mean, they're just beginning to think about the different applications for the way that this is getting done. And it blows my mind. In a year, we created a vaccine, manufactured it, and got it into the arms of 20% of the American population. That to me is something like, winning World War II or winning 7 Super Bowl rings. Certainly more
huge,
important than that. But I mean, it's one of those things that's a a signpost in history, it seems to me. So I don't know. I don't know. You think about how far we've come. Yeah, we still have problems and we still got some time for this thing to run. But I think we should be cognizant and appreciative of what we've been able to accomplish, the price that we've paid, certainly, and take a few minutes to reflect and appreciate what we've achieved and what we've been through. And then we can take these lessons and use them for our mutual benefit as we move forward. Quite a year, Brian. Quite a year.
I think there's no better no better reason to have an emergency fund. I think it's been proven.
Did we talk about that last week? I think we did.
I think we did, but I'm just bringing that up again, and the peace of mind when you have it, and it's hard to get there sometimes, but we've had a heck of a year. That is undoubted.
And we've survived it for the most part.
And
I think
we got to start. I think what we also got to start doing is accepting the fact that it's over, or that it's going to be over. We have to keep being diligent, but we can see the end. And we're going to have to get out of this life. I don't know what you want to call it. The timeout that we've all taken from real life and get back into, we got to move forward. We got to push again. We got to get back into the real, we just had a giant timeout.
Yep.
It's going to take a little bit to get us all back up to full speed.
Yep. And there were some nice parts about it. I got to tell you, wake up in the morning, and go, yeah, I don't have to go to work. I don't have to. I'm not allowed to go to work. I got a couple things to do around the house, but I'm not allowed to go to work. So hopefully we're going back, maybe a little recharged, even though we've been through so much, maybe a little recharged, maybe a little refreshed, maybe with a different,
we're going to be so damn happy to see people again on a day in, day out basis without a freaking mask, that emotional energy is going to propel us forward, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I miss? I mean, you might find this funny, but I miss shaking hands. I miss meeting someone and shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, and the things that conveys. I miss that. Even when people come into the office, it's fist bump or just how do you do, and I miss that handshake. And hopefully we'll have that back here pretty soon.
When you go out to like the grocery store, or you have to go out, are you on like my radar is always on? Anyone is getting near me, they're starting to get too close. I'm constantly reacting to other people's movements while still trying to get what I want accomplished. I'm tired of doing that. I want to get back I want to bump into somebody and go, oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah. And not be freaking out about, whoa. Where was their mask? I didn't see their mask. Were they wearing a mask?
Yeah. I look forward to the day when I will feel comfortable going into a really crowded Costco and not worry about coronavirus, because I do now.
To go out to have dinner in a crowded restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it's a good restaurant. And the tables, they're not going to all be 6 feet away. But who knows? Maybe some of that's not going to happen anymore.
Well, wouldn't that be nice if one of the byproducts is people just can't pack as many tables in, and the one that's right near the restroom that I used to always inevitably get seated at won't be there anymore. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a good thing. How about this? How about a concert? I haven't been to a concert. I haven't been to I wouldn't even go to a ball game yet, but Dodgers are back in the stadium. I just wouldn't go there yet. But how about a concert? How about a live musical experience? I kind of miss that.
Go see a play or even just a movie.
Yeah. I don't think I'd sit in a movie house quite yet.
Not yet.
Soon. I'm looking forward to that. That's just part of our evolvement through this whole thing. So, to all of our listeners, thank you for staying with us this year. Thank you for almost all of you staying alive this last year. Hopefully, we've been able to learn some things, and we'll all be better off, really, because of it. Hey, thanks for reminiscing this week, Brian. It was interesting.
It was fun, Dave.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This is Dave Hagan, and you've been listening to the Financial Wellness Podcast.
You've been listening to the Financial Wellness Podcast, Dave's weekly message to keep you on your path to financial success. If you have a question that you would like Dave to answer on the podcast, go to thefinancialwellnesspodcast.com. You can leave an audio message with one click of a button, or type your message into the question box. Either way, it's sent right to Dave's phone. Remember, Dave will randomly draw from the submitted questions and pick the winner of a free 1-hour personal conversation with Dave to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you receive the new episode notifications, or share the podcast via the app with your family and friends. This is your announcer, Nick Appel, wishing you every financial success.